Hey guys, it's Steve here again, and I just want to come to you. Tomorrow is Thursday, so it'll be almost 3 weeks since Hurricane Helene came through the Carolinas. Georgia obviously slammed into Florida first, came up through Georgia, and then hit the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina, where I would say, at least with Helene is concerned, that's where most of the damage and deaths were at. And while a big chunk of it was in western North Carolina, where I am heading tomorrow with a bunch of people from my church, I'm just creating this video because I just want to keep people aware. A lot of times I've learned over the last 10 years, especially as I've gotten more involved with relief efforts and things like that. Especially in our 2024. Something happens, we become extremely focused on that event. We want to help, we want to get involved, we want to throw money at it because it's all needed, and rightfully so. But then something happens, and it seems like the timeline's getting shorter and shorter, where something like Hurricane Helene comes through, and then another crisis happens, and suddenly we forget about Helene. I see it all over the world. I see it all the time with disasters. Something happens, we want to get engaged with it, we want to help, and then something else pops up. Suddenly we forget about what happened. So anyways, the reason I bring this up is just to keep it in front of people. That's it. Not to make people feel guilty, not to try and get people to swarm western North Carolina, or even Florida, where the Hurricane Milton went through. It's not what they need. Of course they need people to help, but they need it more organized. But anyways, as I look around, because, even compared to western North Carolina, we've got, here in the upstate of South Carolina, we've had tons of stuff, tons of damage. And I'm already seeing the effect that the help that happened the first week, a lot of it's diminishing. It's going away. And there's still people with tons of need. By God's grace, our house did not get hit. I mean, we got hit in a manner of speaking, but we didn't get hit by trees. But I want to show you something, because I've tried reaching out to one particular disaster group. I won't name them, but a disaster group that helps people in situations like this. And so I'm going to show you what one house next to me is facing right now that they're not getting help with. So let me switch this around. All right, so here you are looking at a house next to me. Honestly, I've tried counting the trees. I think I counted 6. All this right here used to be a driveway going from up there down here into the back of the house. Can't even see the concrete anymore. It's just covered by trees. You can see the root system right there, but all this just decimating half of a house, not even livable anymore. And so still there's people around that are facing this kind of stuff. So I show you that because don't forget about people. People in my area, people in western North Carolina, especially I saw in the news today with Florida and Milton, Hurricane Milton, people want to get back to normal. And that's good. That's right. It helps. Kids are going back to school down in Florida and some counties, and it's helping them feel normal, even though life's far from it. There's still a lot of recovery to do. Still a lot of damage to pick up, trees to chop up, stuff like that. And I would just encourage you. When disaster strikes and it's within your reach, just find a way to step out. Find a way to help. If you're not anywhere near it and you can give money, there's plenty of great organizations out there that are helping people. I'm not going to put any down there. We all know the Red Cross, things like that. And, you know, for us, we have I know there's a Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Group, there's Samaritan's Purse, a lot of people, organizations that are, regardless if you, whatever you think about them, doesn't really matter, because in situations like this, man, they're on the ground and they're in it. They're in the thick of it, doing more than most people will. So I would just encourage you to, if you can't go, if you're not nearby and you can't help physically, then help financially. Help in some way to continue helping these people, because they still need it. The disaster is still around us. You drive down my street, you still see all the remnants of the disaster that struck our street. I don't even know, I can't even count how many trees fell, how many houses were impacted, cars crushed. One truck I saw just around the corner from us just crushed. And so yeah, just remember them. Let's not forget them. Let's keep helping and serving them. As I said in my last video, how do you do it? How do you do it when you're overwhelmed? How do you do it when the disaster and the crisis is so big, it's just too big for yourself? One thing at a time. When I dealt with my trees, massive oak trees falling on the ground, one limb at a time. That's all I could do. Couldn't focus on everything at that moment. I couldn't even focus on my next door neighbor yet, but we're going to. And I just did it one limb at a time. So let's get out there one step at a time, help people. We do it, we continue doing it, it's going to add up, and over time, it's going to make a huge difference as we serve people who need help.